Hello class, my name is Dr. Davis Paul, MD. Today we're going to be going over hydroxyapatite and its clinical uses as far as osteopathic therapies. Don't worry about this. This is going to be the molecular structure of hydroxyapatite. Again, it's going to be Ca10, PO4, 6, OH2. So let's just dive right into it. Does anyone know what hydroxyapatite is? Maybe, maybe not. Hydroxyapatite is actually the mineral that makes your bones strong. Hydroxyapatite is going to form a matrix with collagen, and that's what's going to make our bones our bones. Without hydroxyapatite, our bones would have no structure, and we'd be just on the ground as mush. And without collagen, hydroxyapatite would kind of just turn to dust, and it wouldn't hold together. So the way that these are going to come together is going to be in kind of a hierarchical structure, more of a layered structure. As far as bones are made up, it's in osteons that are layered in almost like circles or tubes. The way this is going to work is this carbonyl group right here is going to be attracted to this Ca+, it's an ion. Those are going to bond together. In this, fun fact, the binding energy is going to be 63 to 126 kilojoules per mole. So yeah, this is what's going to make up hydroxyapatite with collagen. That's how it's going to be in your body and the bones. This is pretty much the foundation. Again, chemistry is foundational, so we need to set up this to get into more of the complex ideas that we're going to go over today. Sweet, so let's just get into it. First thing we're going to go over is the hydroxyapatite microspheres in therapy. Pretty much what this is going to be is, let's just jump into this situation. Everyone knew that Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight happened. Clearly rigged, by the way. Mike Tyson should have won. Let's pretend that Mike Tyson, hypothetically, since it didn't happen, he frickin' went down, boom, got Jake Paul with that crazy Tyson uppercut. Jake Paul's mouth just destroyed. His jaw is broken, his teeth are gone. So what does he need to do now? He's got to get a procedure to fix his face. The way this is going to work, or one of the options that he could go with, is going to be this hydroxyapatite microsphere therapy with stem cells. So think about it like this. This is kind of going to be like our damaged area right here. We'll say this is like a break in the bone. If you were to just add stem cells, they would kind of just sit in here like that. And sure, they would want to multiply and grow, but they're not really going to have direction, or they're not really going to have structure to them pretty much. So instead what we can do is we can build these hydroxyapatite microspheres. Again, this is hydroxyapatite, HAP with collagen. This isn't just hydroxyapatite by itself. Again, it would just fall apart. So with this, we're going to have these microspheres almost as scaffolding in here, I guess would be a good way to think about it. And then now we sprinkle in our stem cells. This is going to be a much better environment than this because it allows cellular viability, it makes them live better, and it also promotes cellular migration. So it's going to want to grow in different ways. It's going to help it it's just going to be a lot better than this. It's going to help it grow out and fill the entire cavity a lot more efficient than it would in this situation. So yeah, that's going to be the hydroxyapatite microspheres. You're going to use that in bone, dental, and other osteopathic therapies. Jumping a little bit into more, rather than having HAP, COL, or hydroxyapatite collagen, we can also go with, hydroxyapatite with reduced graphene oxide scaffolds. So pretty much it's going to look the same as this. I'll go ahead and erase this so I can write it here. But instead we have hydroxyapatite with, it's reduced graphene oxide. I'm just going to write it as small r, reduced graphene oxide. Again, pretend that's still up there. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. However, with this reduced graphene oxide, it's going to have a little bit better statistics with it. It's going to be a little bit stronger. It's going to allow the tissue to retain, or retention of tissue, better than the hydroxyapatite with collagen, and it's also going to stand up better to temperature degradation, which means it won't degrade in temperature. It's going to be more resilient than the other stuff. Again, it's going to be a polylactic acid matrix is what this is going to be. That's just a fancy way to talk about the scaffolding that it builds. So now we're into the zinc-doped hydroxyapatite with tetracycline. So let's go back into the Jake Paul and Tyson scenario that we have going on. So now Jake Paul just got out of surgery. He's post-op. He just had, let's say he got the HIP plus collagen microspheres put in his face. He's going, oh man, I feel so much better now. I can start making millions of dollars again. My smile is back. But he still isn't out of the woods yet. He needs to worry about infection. Right now in the medical field, standard would be to just load this guy up with a bunch of antibiotics. However, more recently, probably within the past decade, we've been having issues with these super mutant bacteria that are popping up just because we haven't been very smart with how much antibiotics we use. So bacteria are starting to build up resilience and immunity against these antibiotics, and we have no way to fight them. So what's awesome about hydroxyapatite is zinc-doped hydroxyapatite already has a lot of antimicrobial properties with it, but if we load it up with that tetracycline, it's going to be a pretty good substitute for antibiotics. Tetracycline itself is an antibiotic. However, when we do it like this, we're using less antibiotics, so it's going to be a bit better than just loading them up with a bunch of them. So yeah, it fights the threat of those mutant bacteria, and it's going to be a great alternative to the current standard use of what we do. So my educated thoughts are going to be that hydroxyapatite is a pretty cool compound. It's quite cool how it can work as both therapeutic and antimicrobial, and be the substitution for antibiotics. So yeah, I think hydroxyapatite has a lot of future in the medical field, and I would love to see what else they can use this wonderful compound for. So conclusion, just to conclude what I went over today. Number one, hydroxyapatite plus collagen binding. This calcium ion is going to bind with this carbonyl group. It's going to be layered or hierarchical. It's going to be layered in the osteons. Number two, hydroxyapatite with collagen. This complex that we have right here, microspheres, or the hydroxyapatite with the reduced graphene oxide scaffolds are going to be used for structure with stem cells or other tissue regeneration as far as procedure-wise. And then lastly, number three, zinc-doped hydroxyapatite with tetracycline is going to be a wonderful antimicrobial or substitution for antibiotics. Cool, and I would love to acknowledge and give many thanks to Mitchell Kisson, McKenna Thayer, and Monica Estrada, my wonderful peers who helped me with this research and putting this together. Great people, love the work that they did. And last but not least, I'm going to have my works cited page. If you disagree with anything I said here or I'm wrong, please let me know. I would hate to spread misinformation. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Please get out of my lecture hall. I have another lecture in 5 minutes. Thank you.